what I want to do today is to talk more about the zigzag. We have been speaking about the flats, but let's talk about the zigzag. I'm confused. Let me see. So that was a correction. But the corrections come after the impulses. Corrections don't come inside the impulses or anything like that. Correction comes after the impulses. So if you have 5 waves in one direction, what is coming is what? Everybody knows. You have said it a million times. It's an ABC. What's come after 5 waves is a correction. Now, okay, so let's talk about zigzags. Zigzags look like this, right? We have been drawing this type of structure over and over again. Now, the formula of a zigzag is very specific and very confusing for you who are starting, because inside the zigzag, even though the zigzag is an A, let's label it A, B, and C, even though this is a 3-wave move, the first move of the zigzag is in 5 waves. So that means that the A of a zigzag is always an impulse wave. And the last wave of a zigzag, the C wave, is also in 5. So the formula of a zigzag is a 5, 3, 5, because the B is always a corrective structure. So when we see an impulse, as I told you a few minutes ago when we started, how do we know that it's going to continue? Well, whenever we see an impulse, it's either a 1 or an A, right? So if the impulse is starting, that means that we have here, when this starts, let's say that we see this. How do we know this is a 1? When it could be an A. Could be an A and now has a B and now has a C and stop here as a zigzag. The point is that it doesn't matter if it is a 1, it doesn't matter if it is an A, the outlook is the same. It will continue moving in 5 waves again. If it is a 1, let's say, let's put it a 1 as well. If it is a 1, the B will be a 2, in which case we would expect a 3 in 5 waves moving down. If it is an A and this is a B, we would expect a C in 5 waves as well. And somebody asked, can this 5 wave be a diagonal? It can be, because what it matters is that it's a motive wave. So motive wave can be of 2 types, impulses and diagonals. So let's say that the formula is 5, 3, 5. Typically, one thing that characterizes zigzags is that wave C of a zigzag tends to be equal to wave A. It's not a rule, okay, don't confuse with that, but A typically in a zigzag tends to be equal to C. And so whenever we are trading a zigzag, whenever we are expecting, this is a very good example, just a second. Let's say that we have a wave 1 here. Oops. Let's say that we have a wave 1 here, okay, and now we have a zigzag. Where do we enter this market? Remember, we wanted to buy the 3, right? Remember that? We want to buy this level. So where do we buy that? Well, exactly, if it is a zigzag, where the C equals the A. That would be the magic place to buy this. Okay, let me check your questions. Are 2 and 4 always in 3? Like the B is always in 3? Yeah, that is correct, because 2 and 4s are corrections. Corrections are 3. Actually, consider the following. A correction and a 3 are used interchangeable. You can say it's a 3 to say it's a correction. You can say it's a correction to say it's a 3. Okay, so in fact, we call all the corrections 3s. And when they are together, when there are more than one correction put together, we call them double 3s. And if there are 3 corrections put together, we call them triple 3s. So 3s are corrections. You said when C enters the A, that's where you enter. No, not when it enters, when it equals. But I have a very funny accent, and I'm very pleased whenever I give a webinar and people understand me, because when I hear recordings of myself, I go like, how do people understand me? That's magic, really. Okay, so that's clear, right? C tends to equal A in a zigzag. And zigzags tend to be in wave twos because wave twos are typically deeper than waves um, 4. So let me give you an example in a real market with zigzag. We saw, what is this? Oh, see, in this market, we saw a clean, clear example of a flat, right? A, B, C there of a flat. So now let's look for a zigzag. How about that? Let's look for a zigzag. I think we had here because we labeled this yesterday, right? So let's look for that. Anybody sees a zigzag there? Following 5. That is absolutely correct. Following intermediate 5, we have a zigzag. That's absolutely correct. We have the A, the B, and the C. And notice the impulsive nature of A and C. They are impulsive. Compare that to corrections, where they are all like that. Corrections are like this, right? Where else do we see a zigzag? You don't see them. They're so obvious, guys. A zigzag is a very obvious thing simply because they are very sharp. Yeah. The zigzag, not remember, what was the characteristic of a corrective structure? They're slow, choppy, sloppy, right? Overlappy. So the zigzag is not. So whenever we have a correction that is sharp, then we can look for a zigzag there. After the next high, yes, that is correct. After here, we have another zigzag. But here you have a clean zigzag. Look at that. It's very, very, very clean. Minor 3, minor 4. Let's see. Yeah, this is correct. Another zigzag there. Very clean, right? Very clear. Now, what I'm going to teach you now may be a little confusing, but it will help you. So let's say that we had this. I'm going to introduce you to the most difficult thing of any wave, the thing where everybody panics. But it's not that difficult. I'm going to show you how it is very simple. So we saw a zigzag here. We label it, like say, A, B, and C. And somebody wisely identified another zigzag there. Yeah. After the next high, he said, or she said. No, Adam said, after the next high, which means we have another zigzag here. Down, up, down. Looks like a zigzag again, so we can call it another A, B, and a C. So now let's look at what we have here. Basically, we have two zigzags. This one, that will be our first zigzag, and this uh, zigzag here next. Now notice that this zigzag and this zigzag were connected. Okay, they were connected by this wave here that made that high that Alan pointed. And that connection, let's say that connector wave, we call it X. Okay, so basically what we have here is a wave that acts as a glue to two corrections. In this particular case, a glue to two zigzags. So since this is a zigzag and this is a zigzag, connected, glued together by an X wave, we call this a double zigzag. How about that? How complicated could that be, right? So we have a single zigzag, and then when they are together, connected by a connector, by a glue, we call them double zigzag. Now let me make a drawing. Let's say that we have this zigzag, then we have this zigzag. Now we have double zigzag there, right? And then we have this zigzag. All of these zigzag will be connected by an X. And what we have here is A, B, C here. Let's say A, B, and C. And here we have another A, B, and C. And lastly, we have here another A, B, and C. All right, so basically what we have here are ABC 3 times. So what do you think we call this formation? What kind of structure do you think this could be? A triple zigzag. Correct. Correct. A triple zigzag. So what I'm going to do is, you see how complicated this is? Very, very, very simple. But what I'm going to do is to complicate it a little bit by telling you the names that are given. No X, Y, Z. No. To avoid this ABC and this ABC and this ABC, we label the first ABC as W. And the second ABC, we label it as Y. And the third ABC, we label it as Z. So what we have here is what we call a WXYXZ, which means basically a triple zigzag. In this case, it's not called a triple correction, it's called a triple zigzag. Triple zigzags are different than triple threes. Okay, so let's go to a real market where we could see zigzags like that. How about that? So you can see that this stuff is, it's not that complicated, even though this is the most complicated stuff. Yeah, the one that everybody says, can't understand that. All right, so here we have a very, very good example. Can you guys, could you please count this from here to here, from top to bottom? Could you count it impulsively? Try. Tell me if it is possible. Anybody can tell me if it is possible to count this impulsively. It is not possible. Why is it not possible? Because it doesn't follow the rules. That's correct. You know, it doesn't matter how we try to label this, which is one of the questions that you typically have, which is, you know, if it doesn't go into 5, well, what do you do? Well, you don't label it as a 5, right? So if you label this as a 1 and 2 and 3, 4 will be inside here, okay? Then this will be 1 and 2 and 3, 4 will be inside here. Doesn't work. Doesn't matter how we put it. Doesn't work. So how do we label it? Well, if it's not, remember this, if it's not a 5, it's a 3, basically, right? And if it's not a 3, it's a 5. So in this particular case, we have, something that could not be a 5. So let's look how we can call it, how we can label it in 3. So here we go. Basically, can you interpret a flat channel as combination of zigzags? Can you interpret a flat channel? Don't know what a flat channel is, honestly. There is not such a terminology in any way, a flat channel. There are channels that we can use for flats, but they are not called flat channels. Okay, so we have here down, up, down. Would you agree with that? I mean, this is the thing that we would be looking at when we see from here. What do we see? Down, up, down. Very clear. So we could label this as an A, B, and a C. Right? And now what do we have from here? Well, from here we have something very simple. Up, down, up. We have the opposite. Now, do you guys remember that that type of correction? Remember how I've told you something that looks like an inverted N in a bull market? In this case, looks like a real N. Anybody can remember what this is? Notice that it's a flat, exactly. Notice that we have the A and the B travel all the way to the origin of A. So this is a flat, okay? So we're going to call this flat an X. And now look what we have. Another down, up, down, which means another A, B, and a C. Clear, right? And then after that, what do we have? Well, now we have another three-way move. You can see that this cannot develop in 5. So basically what we're going to do is to label that three-way move. As I said, if it's not a 5, it's a 3. So this must be a 3. And then look what we have after that. Look what we have after that. We have down, up, down. So we have another A, B, and C. So basically, how many zigzags do we have here? Well, we have the first one that we typically call W, and then we have the second one that we typically call Y, and after the X, the last one is called Z. This one should go here. Okay, so we basically just label a triple zigzag.